Leaky Pete, my goat. He's under a lot of fire. Why is he under a lot of fire? As I said already, he just likes to send text messages. Didn't know that was illegal. Kind of weird that people don't like that he likes to go on booze cruises and send state secrets to whoever will listen. People without security clearances, specifically. I think that's up. I think he should be able to do that.
This morning, President Trump is publicly standing by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth amid growing calls for his resignation. Hegseth shared some of the same sensitive attack plans with his wife Jennifer and others.
His wife is also a Fox News producer, so in his mind, he thought she's qualified, considering that his qualifications were also that he was a Fox News producer to become the defense secretary. Like, his wife could get a little bit of that action too, you know what I mean?
Included launch plans of F-18 fighter jets attacking Yemen, according to sources.
We're changing the Defense Department, putting the Pentagon back in the hands of warfighters, and anonymous smears from disgruntled former employees on old news.
Guys, maybe Pete Hegseth accidentally brought in top-level executives to the Pentagon, but like didn't realize that they were DEI, and that's why they're firing them. Potentially, maybe like DUI hires. Pete was like, what do you mean? I'm a DUI hire. Might as well bring in other DUI hires. And then everyone was like, you can't do that.
He's doing a great job. Great job. Ask the Houthis how he's doing. Everybody's happy with it. We have the highest recruitment numbers.
I love when liberals are like, I hate Donald Trump, but his foreign policy is excellent. Like, what do you have the exact same foreign policy approach that Donald Trump has. You're a fan of all the stuff that he's doing. How'd that happen? Something to consider here.
I think they've had in.
Who says that? Every single liberal that yells at me and says, Hasan, you support the Houthis. You suck. You love terrorism. Every single liberal that says that is also incredibly angry and resentful, understandably, towards Donald Trump. But they agree with Donald Trump's foreign policy, I guess. The thing that liberals hang on to about this Pete Hegseth stuff is the fact that they were having these conversations on Signal and were so stupid that they accidentally had an Atlantic reporter in the private chat. That's what they're mad about. They're mad about the incompetence.
Here to set the record straight himself, the current Secretary of State, Pete Hegseth, former host right here on Fox and Friends. Pete,
hey,
great
Brian.
to see you, Mr. Secretary.
Great to see you.
Wait, former
Secretary, the current Secretary of State.
Oh, he knows, bro. What does he know? Brian, why did you do that?
Are now attempting to leak and sabotage the president's agenda and what we're doing. And that's unfortunate. It's not what I do. It's not how we operate. And so you've got.
There is something incredibly ironic about complaining about leakers. The reason why you're in trouble is because you seemingly have no interest in stopping the dissemination of classified intelligence to people who do not have a security clearance. Like, what do you mean? You're the whole ass leak, big dog, which I like. I personally like that.
Got another allegation being pushed again, not based on how we're operating around here. We're for the warfighters. We're for the president.
Because one of the people who work for you, one of the three who no longer are there, leaked this out as a way to get back at you?
That's right, Brian.
That doesn't matter. What matters is why you are having these conversations with your wife, dude, on your personal phone, on your private Signal app. What do you mean? Oh, I can't believe like a disgruntled former employee outed me. It's like, this is not a defense of anything. Seamus had a funny take about this. He said, you really do get the impression that Hegseth fully expected to slip into the role of a respected Secretary of Defense, but instead he's still just him, an alcoholic Fox News host whose slip-ups are now under the magnifying glass of the entire world. Yeah, I never believed in magic until I saw my dogs turn into snakes. Oh, you think you know a guy, and then you bring him into the Defense Department, and then he gets fired, and then he's disgruntled, and all of a sudden he's leaking all these secrets about me leaking state secrets, which, who's the bigger leaker here, Pete? You are.
Why would it surprise anybody, Brian, if those very same people keep leaking to the very same reporters whatever information they think they can have to try to sabotage the agenda of the president or the secretary? So once a leaker, always a leaker.
It does feel like he's talking about himself here. Given why he's even having this conversation is that he's leaking state secrets to people that should not be hearing state secrets. it almost feels like he's saying this is an admission where he's like, once a leaker, always a leaker. I'm not going to stop. I will never stop. I'm going public. I'm telling you about Area 51. I'm telling you about our attack plans. I'm telling you Israel's got nukes. I'm telling it all. I'm unstoppable. This is what I like to do. Whiskey Pete. Leaky Whiskey Pete. That's what they called me. Remember, Pete Hegseth was the weekend correspondent for their show. And now he is the Secretary of Defense. You think they didn't know that he was unqualified? You think Brian Kill Myself, you think he doesn't know that Pete is unqualified for this position? He knows. He knows Pete is unqualified for even Sean Hannity's position at Fox News. Like, think about that.
The staff will let go. Did you let them go?
Right. It was a result of an investigation ongoing at the Pentagon where we identified there was sufficient evidence, potentially, again, there's an investigation ongoing that will have to complete itself, sufficient evidence to believe that they or others near them were party to leaking. And then I have a statutory responsibility, Brian, if I believe that's the case, to ultimately ensure they no longer have access to that and that the investigation commences.
Who are you talking to? Are you talking to yourself, Pete? It's just so strange. It feels like he's talking about a totally separate guy who's the Secretary of Defense.
That's a very real problem. We take that very seriously at the Pentagon.
I don't understand. You're in trouble because you leaked, dumbass. The f- do you mean? Oh, these other leakers are the real enemies of the state. Doesn't he realize that when he talks about this, it almost feels like he's talking about himself to the average person? Because to the average person, they don't give a who actually was the one who went to the New York Times with the story. The average person goes, why is the Secretary of Defense communicating attack plans to his wife on Signal? You're the OG leaker, big dog. I'll say it like this. If you had not done this thing, right, that you are in trouble for, and instead someone from the people that you hired went out and released state secrets, I would still be on board with that. I love leaks, but I understand why you could at least entertain this position. Like, oh, it's really fucked up that this guy that I hired was a disgruntled former employee that turned around and like released state secrets to the lying press or whatever, right? Like fake news media. But you're the one who initially, like the entire point of contention here is that you leaked information. So now whenever you talk about leakers and punishing them, it kind of feels like you're talking about yourself. Having said that, however, I do think that we are getting dumber and dumber.
Do one job.
One
job for the president and the American people. Secure the country. America first, peace through strength. I don't have time for leakers. I don't have time for the hoax press that peddles old stories from disgruntled employees. We should be talking about the decimation of the Houthis, how we're pushing back the Chinese, how we have a new defense area at the southern border.
It doesn't feel like you do, because if you did, you would investigate your leaks. This doesn't make any sense. It's like, Brian, it takes a real leaky faucet to know when someone is a leaker, okay? That's why I, in this 5D chess move, accidentally sent text messages to my wife and my lawyer without security clearance about America's attack plans in Yemen. You understand? I had to become the leaker myself to understand what it takes. I am what you call a white hat leaker. I believe he's telling the truth about not knowing who the leaker is. Memory loss is common when you're blackout drunk after all. I love how stupid he is because I think it's awesome that the Secretary of Defense is a dumbass who is going to keep doing shit like this, okay? It's great. I hope they don't fire him. I hope he has a fresh stock of Fireball whiskey right next to his desk every day. Let's see where this goes. Have fun with it. That's my analysis. That's my perspective. I think radical transparency is what Trump said he was going to do, and he is making the administration radically transparent. So transparent that this guy is going to come out and like live stream attack plans, you know? So he'll be like, yeah, that's right. We're going to bomb Iran tomorrow. And here are the weapons that we're going to use. Here are the targets that we are going to be bombing. I don't know. Don't get mad at me. It's normal to say this stuff. Not everything deserves a reaction. Sometimes you can just kick back and enjoy the show.